you chose white peonies for the centerpieces. I remember because you called me 3 times about them. Whether they would photograph well, whether they were too traditional, whether Margaret from your book club would think they were overdone. I told you they were beautiful each time. I meant it each time. I booked the flight in February. 18 hours, 1 layover in Frankfurt, a middle seat between a man who fell asleep on my shoulder and a teenager with headphones loud enough that I could identify the song. I didn't complain. I packed the blue dress you once said made me look like I was trying. I packed it anyway, because I thought maybe this time trying would be enough. It wasn't. You were standing near the entrance when I arrived. You and Dad, both of you in the clothes I'd seen in the photos you never sent me directly. I found them through Aunt Carolyn's Facebook page. The way I find out most things about this family now. The venue was exactly as you'd described it 2 Christmases ago, before the silence started. High ceilings. Light coming through those arched windows. The peonies, exactly as I'd imagined them. I smiled at you. I want you to know that. I smiled first. You didn't move toward me. Dad looked somewhere past my left shoulder, at nothing in particular, the way he does when he's decided something but doesn't want to be the one to say it. You said it quietly. That's the part I keep returning to. How quiet you were. Not cruel in the way people are when they want to wound. Quiet in the way people are when they've rehearsed something and want it to be clean. Only family today, sweetheart. You weren't on the list. I think it's better if you go, sweetheart. You called me sweetheart. I didn't cry in the parking lot. I'm still not sure what to make of that. I found my rental car, the small gray one that smelled like someone else's air freshener, and I drove until I saw a gas station, and I pulled in and bought a coffee I didn't drink. I sat in the car for a while. Not thinking, exactly, more like waiting for a feeling to arrive and clarify itself. It didn't. I'd been here before. Not at a venue, not with peonies, but in the general geography of this moment. The smaller versions of it, the holidays where my name was left off the card. The group text I was removed from, and then added back to without acknowledgement. The years of almost, of close enough, of we didn't mean it like that. I drove to the hotel, and I watched television, and I ordered soup I didn't finish, and I slept for 11 hours. Which is something I haven't done since I was a child. Back when this house still felt like home. 3 days passed. You didn't call. I didn't call. I want you to know the silence on my end was not anger. It was something more honest than that. It was me, finally, not performing. You called on a Tuesday evening. I was reading. The room was quiet and the window was open and the city outside sounded like cities do when you're a stranger in them. Present but indifferent, which felt appropriate. You didn't ask how I was. You asked about the vendors. You told me the bill was $38,000. You said it the way you say things when you expect them to land with weight. Carefully, with a pause after. You asked how I was going to help cover it. And I laughed. I want to explain the laugh, because it wasn't what you think. It wasn't victory. It was the sound a person makes when the anxiety they've been carrying for years turns out to have been unnecessary. A release, not a weapon. I told you, calmly, that I'd closed that account 14 months ago. That I'd contacted every vendor in writing. That I'd sent certified letters, kept copies, and confirmed receipt. That there was no debt attached to my name. That I had done this quietly, without drama, after the 3rd time a bill arrived that I hadn't agreed to. You were silent in a way I didn't recognize. Not the silence of someone gathering themselves for an argument, the silence of someone who has just understood that the floor they were standing on was not where they thought it was. What I didn't tell you, what I only learned later, from the coordinator who emailed me directly, was that 2 of the vendors had already flagged the billing discrepancy weeks before. A dispute had been opened, the account had been reviewed, and my name had already been cleared through proper channels before you ever called. The liability had shifted before our conversation even began. You didn't know that. You called, expecting leverage. You found a closed door. I told you I hoped the wedding was beautiful. I meant that too, in the complicated way you can mean something that lives alongside pain without canceling it. Rachel is still my sister, even if I watched her marry someone through a gas station window and a 3-day silence. I hung up and finished the coffee and I booked an earlier flight. This is the letter I won't send you. I flew 18 hours because I still loved you. I wore the blue dress because I wanted to be seen by you. Just once, as someone worth keeping in the room. You told me, clearly and politely, that I wasn't. I don't ask why anymore. I spent years asking why, and the question only kept me close to something that kept asking me to disappear. I won't be available for the next emergency. Not because I stopped caring. Because I finally believed you. The peonies were beautiful, Mom. I hope someone told you that on the day